Hello and welcome back to our storybook journey. Last time we left Dr. Dolittle and his animal friends in a pretty tight spot, locked away in a prison in the kingdom of Jolliginki. But where there's a will and a very clever parrot, there's a way. Very, very quietly, making sure no one could see her. Polynesia the parrot slipped out of the back of her tree and flew straight to the prison. She found Gub-Gub the pig with his nose poked through the window bars, trying to catch a whiff of the delicious smells coming from the palace kitchen. Polynesia told the pig to fetch the doctor. When John Dolittle's sleepy face appeared at the window, she wasted no time. "Listen," she whispered urgently. "Prince Bumpo is coming to see you tonight. You have to find a way to turn him white, but listen carefully. You must make him promise first that he'll open the prison doors and get you a ship to cross the sea." The doctor was taken aback. "This is all very well," he said, "but turning a black man white isn't like re-dyeing a dress. It's not that simple. You know the saying, 'Shall the leopard change his spots, or the Ethiopian his skin?'" Polynesia had no time for proverbs. "I don't know anything about that," she said impatiently. "But you must turn this man white. Think of a way, think hard. You've got all those medicines in your bag. He'll do anything for you if you change his color. This is your only chance to get out of this prison." The doctor sighed, his mind already racing. "Well, I suppose it might be possible," he mused. He walked over to his medicine bag, murmuring to himself about liberated chlorine on animal pigment and zinc ointment as a temporary measure. The seed of a plan was planted, and just as Polynesia predicted, that very night Prince Bumpo came secretly to the doctor's cell. "White man," he began, his voice full of sadness, "I am a very unhappy prince. Years ago I read about the Sleeping Beauty and went on a quest to find her. After traveling the world for many days, I finally found her. I kissed her gently to wake her up, just like the book said." The prince's shoulders slumped. "It's true, she did wake up. But when she saw my face, she cried out, 'Oh, he's black,' and she ran away. She refused to marry me and went back to sleep somewhere else. So I returned to my father's kingdom, my heart full of sadness. Now, I hear that you are a wonderful magician with powerful potions. I've come to you for help. If you will turn me white so I can go back to the Sleeping Beauty, I will give you half my kingdom and anything else you ask." The doctor looked thoughtfully at the rows of bottles in his medicine bag. "Prince Bumpo," he said slowly, "supposing I made your hair a lovely blonde color. Wouldn't that be enough to make you happy?" "No," said Bumpo firmly, "nothing else will do. I must be a white prince. You know, the doctor said, stalling for time, it's very hard to change the color of a prince. It's one of the most difficult things a magician can do. You only want your face white, correct?" "Yes, that's all," Bumpo replied eagerly, "because I'll wear shining armor and steel gauntlets, just like the other white princes, and ride a magnificent horse. And must your face be white all over?" The doctor asked, picking up a small bottle and examining it in the dim light. "Yes, all over," said Bumpo. and I would like blue eyes too. But I suppose that would be very, very hard to do. Yes, it would. The doctor agreed quickly. Well, I will do what I can for you, but you will have to be very patient. With some medicines, you can never be entirely sure of the result. I might have to try 2 or 3 times. You have strong skin, yes? Good, that will help. Now, come over here by the light. The doctor paused, holding up a hand. Oh, but before I do anything, you must do something for me. First, go down to the beach and get a ship ready with plenty of food to take me across the sea. Do not speak a single word of this to anyone. And when I have done what you ask, you must let me and all my animals out of this prison. Promise me, by the crown of Jolliginki. The prince, his eyes wide with hope, promised without a moment's hesitation. He then hurried away to prepare the ship at the seashore, leaving the doctor to his mysterious collection of bottles and powders. The great escape plan was now in motion. What concoction will the doctor create? And will it work? What will the king say when he finds out his son is trying to change his color and has helped his prisoners escape? The plot thickens. When he came back and said that it was done, the doctor asked Dab Dab to bring a basin. Then he mixed a lot of medicines in the basin and told Bumpo to dip his face in it. The prince leaned down and put his face in right up to the ears. He held it there a long time, so long that the doctor seemed to get dreadfully anxious and fidgety standing, first on one leg and then on the other, looking at all the bottles he had used for the mixture and reading the labels on them again and again. A strong smell filled the prison, like the smell of brown paper burning. At last, the prince lifted his face up out of the basin, breathing very hard, and all the animals cried out in surprise. For the prince's face had turned as white as snow, and his eyes, which had been mud-coloured, were a manly grey. When John Dolittle lent him a little looking-glass to see himself in, he sang for joy and began dancing around the prison. But the doctor asked him not to make so much noise about it. When he had closed his medicine bag in a hurry, he told him to open the prison door. Bumpo begged that he might keep the looking-glass, as it was the only one in the kingdom of Jolliginki, and he wanted to look at himself all day long. But the doctor said he needed it to shave with. Then the prince, taking a bunch of copper keys from his pocket, undid the great double locks, and the doctor with all his animals ran as fast as they could down to the seashore, while Bumpo leaned against the wall of the empty dungeon, smiling after them happily, his big face shining like polished ivory in the light of the moon. When they came to the beach, they saw Polynesia and Chi-Chi waiting for them on the rocks near the ship. "I feel sorry about Bumpo," said the doctor. "I am afraid that medicine I used will never last. Most likely he will be as black as ever when he wakes up in the morning. That's one reason why I didn't like to leave the mirror with him. But then again, he might stay white-eye, had never used that mixture before." To tell the truth, I was surprised myself that it worked so well. But I had to do something, didn't I? I couldn't possibly scrub the king's kitchen for the rest of my life. It was such a dirty kitchen. I could see it from the prison window. Well, poor Bumpo. "Oh, of course, he will know we were just joking with him," said the parrot. "They had no business to lock us up," said Dab Dab, waggling her tail angrily. "We never did them any harm. Serve him right if he does turn black again. I hope it's a dark black." "But he didn't have anything to do with it," said the doctor. "It was the king, his father, who had us locked up. It wasn't Bumpo's fault. I wonder if I ought to go back and apologize. Oh, well, I'll send him some candy when I get to Puddleby, and who knows, he may stay white after all. The Sleeping Beauty would never have him even if he did," said Dab Dab. "He looked better the way he was, I thought, but he'd never be anything but ugly, no matter what color he was made. Still, he had a good heart," said the doctor, romantic. "Of course, but a good heart. After all, handsome is as handsome does." "I don't believe the poor booby found the Sleeping Beauty at all," said Jip, the dog. "Most likely he kissed some farmer's fat wife who was taking a snooze under an apple tree. Can't blame her for getting scared. I wonder who he'll go and kiss this time. Silly business." Then the Push My Pull You, the White Mouse, Gub Gub, Dab Dab, Jip, and the Owl, Too Too, went on to the ship with the doctor. But Chi Chi, Polynesia, and the crocodile stayed behind, because Africa was their proper home, the land where they were born. And when the doctor stood upon the boat, he looked over the side across the water, and then he remembered that they had no one with them to guide them back to Puddleby. The wide, wide sea looked terribly big and lonesome in the moonlight, and he began to wonder if they would lose their way when they passed out of sight of land. But even while he was wondering, they heard a strange whispering noise, high in the air, coming through the night, and the animals all stopped saying goodbye and listened. The noise grew louder and bigger. It seemed to be coming nearer to them, a sound like the autumn wind blowing through the leaves of a poplar tree, or a great, great rain beating down upon a roof. And Jip, with his nose pointing and his tail quite straight, said, "Birds, millions of them flying fast. That's it." And then they all looked up, and there, streaming across the face of the moon, like a huge swarm of tiny ants, they could see thousands and thousands of little birds. Soon the whole sky seemed full of them, and still more kept coming, more and more. There were so many that for a little they covered the whole moon so it could not shine, and the sea grew dark and black-like when a storm cloud passes over the sun. And presently all these birds came down close, skimming over the water and the land, and the night sky was left clear above, and the moon shone as before. Still never a call, nor a cry, nor a song. They made no sound but this great rustling of feathers, which grew greater now than ever. When they began to settle on the sands, along the ropes of the ship anywhere, and everywhere except the trees, the doctor could see that they had blue wings and white breasts and very short, feathered legs. As soon as they had all found a place to sit, suddenly there was no noise left. Anywhere all was quiet, all was still, and in the silent moonlight John Dolittle spoke. "I had no idea that we had been in Africa so long. It will be nearly summer when we get home. For these are the swallows going back. Swallows, I thank you for waiting for us. It is very thoughtful of you. Now we need not be afraid that we will lose our way upon the sea. Pull up the anchor and set the sail. When the ship moved out upon the water, those who stayed behind, Chi-Chi, Polynesia, and the crocodile, grew terribly sad, for never in their lives had they known anyone they liked so well as Dr. John Dolittle of Puddlebyonamash, and after they had called goodbye to him again and again and again, they still stood there upon the rocks, crying bitterly and waving till the ship was out of sight. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing stories.